Hello and welcome to this very short training video about setting some of your default options when you first start working with Empower Express. Now the first thing we're going to look at is setting your default template, and this is the template that opens the minute you launch PowerPoint. Once you've installed Empower, it becomes the Empower template, but you can switch that to your one. And to do this, you need to go to the Empower ribbon and then click on New. Then it launches the templates area. Then you can go in, locate your template and just right mouse click over it and say set as default master. And then from then on, every time you open PowerPoint, that's the template that's going to be launched. So you'll always start with your one. This is a user specific thing, so you need to set it for you and then it will stay. You can change it to any other templates if you've got multiple templates after that. And if you've got any other members in your team, they will all have to do this setting themselves. So just right mouse click it and say set as default master. And from then on, every time you launch PowerPoint, it will launch with your template, which is much nicer to have. So anyway, that's the first thing we wanted to set, your default template. The next thing we're going to look at is setting this sidebar here. And this is really useful for quick access into lots of the folders, but also some of the tools like the layout tools and the quick design check. These tools are all available on the toolbar. So for example, text elements you've got here on the insert, but it's also here on your sidebar. These folders are actually available in the library as well. So that's another way into them. But it can be very quick and convenient just having them on this sidebar. So I always recommend to people to set this to come up. Now the way to get it to come up, I'm just going to turn it off and then we'll put it back on again. But the way to get it to activate is to choose one of these folders, like the layout tools, for example, which will then open this side pane area and also activates that sidebar. Once you've got that activated, you can then click on the circle and then tick this to say on. And then I can just close that, and then you've always got them there. So I can just click into any of the folders without any trouble at all. Now, when you're in your template and you click on, say, text elements, it'll take you into the text elements for that template. So again, it's even quicker. It's one click, and there you've got all the tools that you need. Also, you've got layout tools there. So again, it's quicker than just sometimes going up to there. And also the design check as well. You can run that from there as well. So it's a really nice, handy little thing to have on the side. One thing to note too is you've got a favourites area. And this works with anything, and you can access anything in your library, either through the sidebar or through here. And you can access folders, you can access any of the elements within there. And all you do is just right mouse click it and add favourite. And then it's going to appear in your little favourites folder once that refreshes. Here we go. And there it is. So again, it's even quicker to have those favourite folders and favourite objects there in your folders area, in your favourites area. Okay, so that's number 2, your sidebar. The next thing we're going to look at is your charts user settings. And here's a chart I've made using the Empower charting tools. And there's a couple of options you can change as global settings. Excuse me. So if I go to health and settings, we've got an option here for charts user settings. In here, the things you would want to look at changing is the default Gantt. For when you do Gantt charts, you can set your date format. Either international, US, or whatever. If there's any formats not there, let us know. We can see about getting them added. But that will set all of your date settings when you're creating Gantt charts. The other thing that's useful to set is this selection. You've got 2 options here, points first or series first. And I think it actually defaults to points first, but I prefer putting mine on series. So I've set mine to series. And what that means is when I click on either the series, the first click's given me all of that series. And then the second click will give me just a single point, and it works on labels too. So one click gives me all those labels because I've set it to series first. So I can make those bold, for example. But I just wanted to select that bar and make it a different color. That second click will give me the second bar. There we go. And it's just something to be aware of, that when you click, as well, when you click, there's no right mouse click concept when you're using the charts. All the formatting you can do is on that, the minute you click, it's there. But first click does your series, second does your points, or vice versa, depending on what you've set in the settings. So that's just a nice thing to set to make charts a bit easier. And the next thing I want to talk to you about is how to access help with the support team. So if you need us for anything, any questions, any problems, any issues, or just how do you do something, click on this button here, support. That should automatically generate an email, and that's going to be sent to our team. So express@empowersuite.com. Any issues, any questions, send everything through to that same address, and then we'll make sure the right person gets it to answer your question and help you. So that's that one. And then the last thing I want to look at is the sync tool, and just make sure you're aware of where it is and where it sits. Now, here on your taskbar, by your clock, mine is at the top of the screen, but it can be at the bottom, the side, wherever you have it. But you have all these icons here actually on your taskbar. There's a few more hidden away in this little arrow here, and that's usually where you'll find the Empower Sync icon, and this is what it looks like. So if you've got it tucked away, just select it and then drag it into this main area, and then you'll always see it. And it's useful because whenever you update things or save up into the library, that'll be where your little pop-up messages will come. And also that's where you want to click on that and sync now, because it doesn't sync continuously in the background, because it would just slow things down. It does a sync every time you reboot and restart PowerPoint, then it should sync. But if things get, it's a good habit to just make sure you sync it at least once a day, or if someone in your team has done a lot of uploading or changing or edits, then push that sync now. And it shouldn't take too long to run. I mean, mine, I think, runs in about 10 seconds or so. And that's it. Then I know everything's up to date. But it's really handy to have that. And you can always see the status there. I can see it's actually in the middle of syncing. And if I close that, I can see that sync still hasn't finished. But it's really useful just to be aware of it. Okay, so that's it. That's all I wanted to say about setting your settings and just making sure you're aware of what options you've got there when you're first set up your Empower. So enjoy working with it, and let us know if you have any questions. Okay, thanks a lot. And